The key of the beyond has just gathered enough Honkai energy to cross the threshold of Herrscher creation. In other words, in the world ruled by Sa, this is an unprecedented change in billions of years. It even comes in pairs. However, an artificial imaginary singularity will never form as silently as a supernova. During the process, you'll surely realize that without the AI, Ch39 is a host of singularity without the Honkai adaptability to match. In other words, forcefully focusing Honkai energy on her like this will turn her into a Honkai beast or zombie before turning her into a Herrscher. Of course, she and the doctor are aware of this. When a train comes off its rail, its passengers are the first to notice. Moreover, I can read all the stories buried in her memory. In the past, merely transporting a somewhat special divine key has cost her dearly. She knows her capacity inside out, but still chose to quench her thirst with hemlock. From the perspective of death, this is actually beautiful. Yeah. Oh my. You're right. I can never compete with the geniuses lest I fade, and holding out is just like digging my own grave. All these limitations and weaknesses, every single silent thought about them would be read by you. Am I right, Vita? She isn't talking with me, but just talking to me. I know this better than anyone. In terms of talent or capacity, I've never been one of the best. As an idol, I can sing it well. As a Valkyrie, I fail to save my teammates. As one of the Sugars, I can't stop you. I tried to comfort Susanna not long ago, but at the end of the day, I was also comforting myself. We may never become who we dream to be because of our talents, experiences, and many other factors. But we can also get infinitely closer to who we dream to be, and do great things that even they can't do. Maybe this is the truth to dreaming. As long as we look ahead and do our best, our dreams might come true in an unexpected way. I want to believe in this kind of pure and ideal thinking myself. But we wouldn't have come to this if it was that easy for us to challenge reality. With my friends partying one by one and an enemy approaching, it's almost like I'm back in the battle. Back then, I couldn't fight to the end. Even though it was against my will, it made me a deserter in the second eruption. But what does it matter if I fought till the end? If I give it my all and challenge my limit once more, would the outcome be any different? Of course not. There was nothing I could do. Cecilia-sama still had to sacrifice herself. End of story. That's why after becoming a deserter, and prior to Bianca telling me the end of the story, I probably had accepted Cecilia-sama's death deep down. And died along with her was the youth that could never be regained. You can say that I've been a liar all along. No matter how dazzling or jovial I look, it's but a mask of a scarred soul. After all, I am afraid of myself, afraid that this Snoopy girl might one day find the guilt and confusion deep inside herself. Though she had come to realize that as long as she could lie to herself, everything was alright. This might explain why I am so obsessed with being an idol. But It's okay. It's okay that this time I'm against the omniscient you. The thought of you being able to see through all disguises in this world makes me feel relieved. As you can see, I'm this coward, this deserter, and this fake idol. Still, I'd rather keep faking it, even if it'll come back to bite me, than to stop playing the reliable Sanpei role till the end. Since I've always been a liar, this is natural, right? Giving up on yourself, huh? No, that's not giving up on myself. Even if it destroys me, as long as Honkai energy continues to gather, it will still create a Herrscher. Of course, what comes out at that point will be out of my control. But it would be the same for you, I assume. So if you miss the show, don't regret it. Heading towards death, while pinning all your hope on a negligible probability like a desperate gambler. This is really so boring.
的确如此。
Indeed.
虽然这样附和
It
你有
might
些
sound
不
a
近
bit
人情，
unkind to second you on
但
that,
不管从哪个
but
角度
Greek
看，
hero's words cannot
谁引起了那
intimidate
些
the
逞
enemy
强的
in
话
the
语，
least,
都
no
不具备
matter
战胜敌人
how
的
you
价
look
值。
at it.
薛定谔博士，
Talking to me now,
你是在
Dr.
主动找我说
Schollinger.
话吗？
当然，
I am, but even with your omniscience, you don't seem to understand immediately.
也不能立即理解。谁与企鹅的
Greek
计划
hero's plan is a long shot, that's for
作为最
sure.
终载体的
As the
他，
ultimate vessel, she lacks Honkai adaptability.
这意味
That
着
means
在
before
叙
the
述起点
imagined
诞生之前，
singularity is born, the
它先
Honkai
不具有
energy
的
she
包含
told
就
together
会先
will
一步
go
失
out of
控。
control.
打个比方来说，
It's like a pressure
就
cooker
像压力
losing its
锅在没有
lid
煮好食
before
物
the
之
food
前，
inside is
便失去了
cooked.
锅盖，在没有外力
Without
帮助的
help,
情
she'll
况下，
never have the chance
即
to
使她
turn
想尽
into a
变成死
zombie
在
and
没
then
成
the
年之后，
Herrscher, even
现
if
实
she
也不
wanted
会给
to.
她那样的机会。
你倒是比我还不
You're
有钱
harsher
呀！
than me.
所以，
So, I decided to
我
join
决
her
定加
plan.
入她的计划。你之前没有疑惑吗？
Haven't you wondered
为什么附身在一
as
块
to
月
why
岩上的
I, someone who
可以像
possesses
高
a
塔
moon
行者
rock,
一样，
can
在
freely
世界
travel
中
the
自由
world
穿
like the
梭？
你
sage?
不过是在频繁
You're
变更
just
自己的附
frequently
身对
changing your
象。
host. Unlike
平常
those
性
who
命和
risk
他
their
们不
lives,
同，
you only
你做
risk
这些的
being
风险
rejected by
不
the
过是可能
world.
被世界排斥而已。
那么，
Then how exactly did I help Shigurikira channel Honkai energy?
那只是月岩的
By
基
the
本
nature
性
of
质，
moon rock,
杯水车
but that's
薪。
insignificant.
可是
But if I'm truly so weak,
如果我真的
why
如此
bother
够强，
talking to me?
你又何必劳神费心，和我在这里不断交谈？
That's why I
所
said,
以我才这样说。你即使全知，
even with your
也不能
omniscience,
立即理
you
解
don't seem
世
to
界复杂
understand
而混杂。
immediately. The world is
为了预防蝴蝶
complicated
效
and
应，
chaotic.
你必须
To
定时
prevent
检
the
索每个人
butterfly
的思想，
effect, you must
逐一判断
regularly
他们
search
对你的
people's
威胁，
minds
而
to
这一
determine if there's anything
正是我为
dangerous.
你
And this
量身
is a
定制的
trap
罗
I
网。
set for you. The next moment, Schollinger began her detection. Since being quantized in that world-changing war, she had traveled long and far in this quantized form. The change in her existence had brought forth a new perspective, allowing the innate researcher to adjust her way of thinking and calculation, intentionally or otherwise. As a result, she could think and calculate with the efficiency of a quantum mind. She doesn't usually need to overuse this ability, as it could bring unknown risks that weren't worth the hassle. Yet, at this point, unknown risks were the least of her worries. Rather, she now freed her brain to exploit these unknown risks. help Shigure Kira, help Sila, contact the outside world, escape the two bubble universes, try to interfere with SAS authority. Each and every plan was deduced in her mind, even a brief message seemed to have been sent out to the proper world. The Omniscient One was like a poor detective inundated with countless false alarms, who needed to determine the criminal's true intent from a sea of spam. Indeed, for now I can deduce no more than seemingly feasible plans. They cannot each be implemented, nor all be as complete and reliable as they appear to be. But are you giving up on probing into me just because of that? For every plan, you need to observe, calculate, and verify. Even you, who has the interferometer and can process information faster than me, will be weighed down by them. And that may be enough for my friends, but for me, it's simply risking the life just like them. To be honest, I feel lucky, for it's the omniscient you that I fight against this time. Her friends said similar things a few minutes earlier. Perhaps her plan were empty talk, and a winning strategy didn't exist. Still, when those new ideas were born, so did their potential threats. And something else about her makes her even more irksome for her opponents. Her existence was unique, as she came in from outside this world and was only using the moon rock as a terminal. In other words, she was the true quantum ghost in this world, one unable to be killed physically, yet able to interfere with this world subtly. Thanks to the previous crisis, she had risked switching the terminal and had gotten better at it. To stop her from impacting the world, the choices were to wait until her energy ran out or destroy the world directly. For the present Vita, I am not to be ignored, right? Despite her words, one could tell that she was putting up a front. In fact, she was more like a puppet who kept cutting off her body parts for firewood. A small amount of consumption could be replenished from the outside, but to compete with the Omniscient One like this was futile. This was indeed a battle of deduction, and also a gamble with everything on the line. After all, for science, there has been only one way to induce miracle. If the probability is too small, increase the cardinal number. If the experiment fails, experiment another million times. Now let's see if her miracle will creep up from where you were too busy to check. Yes, I'm not talking about Sila that you've kept your eyes on, but Shigure Kira, who's right under your nose. Let our show begin. This is impossible. What Shigure has is a foolhardy plan. Even if she managed to focus Honkai energy, she has no way to escape zombification, and awakening as a Herrscher after zombification. That's a fairy tale. Schrodinger's move is distraction at best. Even with all her wisdom, she can only disturb minds, which would be a breeze to neutralize. They are unable to create a Herrscher. My estimation can be wrong. But why? Even so, why can they come so far? Honkai energy gathered, generating imaginary singularity. Come, Sa, let the show begin. You came, Vita.
我的演唱
Are
会吗？
you here for my concert too?
热情的
We
观
have
众
a
可
large,
真多呀。
passionate audience here.
不
But
过
you can't come on
演
stage
出结束
until the
之
show
前
is
可
over.
不能随意上台呢。
别忘了你还有我。
Don't forget you have me.
谢谢
Thanks,
你，
Doctor.
我是
不过
Just a bit of
多少能让这场对
distraction.
决
Still,
更
it
公
would
平。
ensure a fairer fight. Hang in there, Kira. The imaginary
结束前就快稳
singularity
定
is
下来。
almost stable.
你就
No
放心吧。
worries. An
アイドル
idol
は
never
パ
stops
フォーマンスを途
performing
中でやめた
midway.
りしないわ。
At that moment, all was silent. It was nothing philosophical like the greatest music has the faintest notes. It was the sound of the end. To an idol, this was a very important and extremely familiar moment. While the last note still lingered in the air, the audience would remain silent. But is it because the performance had seized their hearts, or because they were bored out of their souls? Nobody could tell at that moment. No matter how dazzling an idol may be, she must experience this anxiety, waiting for applause or booing. But the silence of the stage had lasted too long. After all, for this performance of creation, there's nobody who can utter a sound in the audience, unless light can appear amidst this darkness. I did it.
没办法，
Can't be helped.
到此为止吧。
Let's stop here.
就差一点了呢。
I was so close.
说来讽刺，
Ironically, I thought your plan wasn't even feasible a while ago. Now I have to attack
这
you
样为
before
了避免
anything
节
goes
外生
wrong.
枝，不得不出手攻击。你真的很出色呢。
You're really outstanding, bootleg idol.
你唯一的不幸
Your only misfortune is that me, who is omniscient,
终究
is
有快
always
人。
one step ahead.
不管你会变
You
成
can
异
turn
者
into a Hersher, zombie, or something else for all I care, but the imaginary singularity will be nipped in its
杀在
bud.
摇篮。 成功了，
It is done.
欢迎来到
Welcome to what we prepared for you, the real stage.
真正舞台。
What's going on? There was no surprise of being ambushed in her voice, only joy that didn't exist just now. Wait. Have I assumed a wrong fact? Is it really an idol's job to meet everyone's expectations? It is more like letting everyone see what they imagined, no matter true or false. That's it. But even so, Wait, you. As the idol exited the stage, a familiar voice called out without warning.
可算
Finally,
抓到你
gotcha.
了。
A while ago. Is this a joke?
开什么玩笑？
Why are there two of me?
别
Stop
思考，
thinking,
别
stop
发问，
questioning,
大
let
脑
your
停
mind
止
go
运转。
black. A chill ran up the back of Shigurikira's neck. At the very moment, she realized her thought had begun to stagnate as the voice said. She was rooted to the spot and could only watch the figure resembling her approach her. Is this the true face of Sa? It can read and even manipulate minds.
什么
What's
乱七
this
八糟的？
nonsense? Young
现在的
people
年
these
轻
days
人
are so
真是沉不住气。
impatient. Just
等
wait.
着，
Shigurikira's thought came to halt. She suddenly realized that this person talked in a strangely familiar way. I'll roll the dice. Shigurikira willingly let her mind slip. In the next instant, she was hit by a sudden dizziness. Before her, the phantom with a face identical to her own diffused like ink, and then morphed into another familiar-looking face. Done! With the
有了我铸
impenetrable
造
wall
的
of
意识的铜
consciousness
墙
I
铁壁，
forged,
那家伙应
she
该探知
can't
不到什
perceive
么。
anything. It
是
is
真
you,
者，
Hersher of
果然
Sentience.
是你！
Surprise! The great Hersher
伟
of
大的时之
Sentience
旅
has
者
turned
回
the
歌返
table.
日，惊不惊喜，意不意外？
So
所
you
以你
didn't
没死。
die. What?
哈？
Shigurikira told the Hersher their earlier findings. The Hersher stood there with crossed arms, listening and nodding occasionally, seeming unconcerned. Promises
仅
to
凭
do
我留
so
在那里的
much
痕
just
迹，
from
就
traces
能
I
推测出
left
这么多信
there.
息。
That was quite
罗密修斯
impressive.
倒是的确有两把刷子。
Yeah,
没错，
it was as
和
you
你们的猜测差不
speculated.
多。
I was
我被
tricked
那
by
家伙
it.
阴了一手，
My authority was
不但权能
restricted,
受到了
and I
约束，
didn't even
形
have
态也无
control
法受
over
自
my
己控制。
form.
那么，
So, did you see the
你见
true
到他
face
的
of
真面目了
Sa?
吗？
How
他究竟
exactly
是
did
怎么
it
做
do
到
all
这些的？
this? Who
谁知
knows?
道？
Sa
自
has
始
never
至终，
showed up.
苏都没有露
My
面，
guess is
甚
it
至我怀
didn't
疑
even do it
那根本不
personally.
是由他亲自动的手。
She had prepared herself for this, but it was only until hearing it from the Hersher that she truly felt how powerful their enemy was.
那
Then
么
why did you...
你又为什么？
An
一个冒牌
imposter
货
wanted to take
就
over
想要
the
接管绿者的全
authority
部
of
权能？
Hersher
他以为
entirely.
绿者是纸
You
糊的老
didn't
虎吗？
really think Hershers were paper tigers. I
我可
don't
没有换
plan to
东家的
change
打算，
clothes and
当
will
然不会乖
not
乖的任
be
他
at
摆布
its，mercy.
找准机
With the
会
right
就脱离
timing,
了
I
他的
should
牵制。
have. I've dealt with the
我
real
连正牌的抽
finality.
烟都对付
Why
过，
would I be
怕他
afraid
做
of
什么？
that? Even
他
if
就
it
算是这个
holds
世
the
界炮
whole
的天，
bubble
我也
universe,
非要给
I
天
won't
弄个窟
hesitate
窿
to
才
give
行
it。hell.
是，
Yes? Since this tough fight was inevitable, it was useless to be afraid or wary of it.
哎呀，
Still,
不过
I'm
嘛，
on its
强龙不压地头
turf.
蛇
The。whole universe
这
is
里
controlled
毕
by
竟是由
it.
缩控
It
制的世
forced
界
me
炮，
to detach my
能逼
tail
得
to
我断我
survive.
求生，
I'll give it
也算
that.
是他的本事。
To
为
get
了不
rid
被
of
他再
it
次控制，
once and for
我
all,
只能把
I
自
could
己
only
在这个世界
minimize
炮
my
的存在感
presence
降
in
到
this
最低，
world. Like
顶
now,
多就
I'm
像现在
chatting
这
with
样，
you in the
在意识
depths
深
of
处
your
和你们聊聊天。
consciousness.
至
As
于报
for
他的一箭
taking
之仇，
revenge,
还
I'll
是得
have
靠
to
你
rely
们。
on you guys. Your plan
你们
isn't
现
half
在制定的
bad.
这计划就不错。
My apologies.
抱
To
歉啦，
break through the
想
barrier
要
of your
突破意识的壁
consciousness, I
障，
had to do
总要对
something
你
to
的意
it.
识做点
I
什么。
accidentally
一不小
read
心就夺了
about
一点你的
your
记忆。
memory. Never mind, time is
没什么，
pressing. It
时间
saved my
紧迫，
time to
这样
explain.
倒是省去了解释的时间。总
Anyway,
之，
to fight
为
Sa,
了与所
I
对
must
抗，
become the
我
Hersher
必
of
须
this
建筑所有
world
体
through its
系，成为
system.
这个世界的律者。至少，
At least
我想我需要
that's
这样
what I
认为。
need to think.
你想？你
What you
需要
need to think. Wonderful,
妙极
simply
了，
wonderful.
简直妙不
Your
可言！
desperate tone
你这
almost
病急
fooled
乱投医
me.
的气势，差一点把我都骗过去了。
How
这
could
么
I
好玩的
miss
事
out
儿，
on
怎么
such
少得了
fun?
我？
That thing dared to stab
既
me
然
in
那
the
玩意儿敢
back.
暗
I'm
算
gonna
我，
make
咱
it
当然要
pay.
以牙还牙。
So,
所以，
how are we going to
我们要
plot
怎么暗
against
算他？
it? Plotting is lame.
多难听
We're gonna
咱
ambush.
这叫伏击。
Alright then, so
好吧。
what do we do
那我们要怎么伏击他？
about
这个
that?
嘛，
Yes,
这样应该
this will
可以。
do. As
没什
nothing,
么。
to ensure
为
that
了
the
保证
plan
计划
can
的顺利
progress
进行，
smoothly,
接
we
下来
need you to
还要
continue
靠你继续实施
executing
普罗米修
Prometheus
斯的计
plan.
划。
Don't
放心
worry,
吧，
with the great
有我石之律者在
sentience
场，
around,
一定
you'll
能保你顺利
definitely
成为律
become
者。
harsher.
啊，
But didn't we intend to fool our
那不是以兵
enemy?
之计吗？
If neither of
只
us
要你
speaks,
不说我不
who
说，
would
那谁
know?
能知道？
Since we don't even know the answer, how
既
does
然连我
Sarah
们自己
know
都不
what
清楚答
would
案，
happen
所又
next?
怎么会知道接下来要发生什么？
哎呀，
Enough
行了
now. Just
你就
think
当
that
做
you
我的
had a
白日梦，
daydream.
自己
You
根
never
本就没
actually
见
saw
过
me.
然
Then
后
sit back
等
and
着看
enjoy
好
the
戏吧。
show.
毕
After
竟要
all,
论
when it
操纵
comes to
意识，
manipulate sentience,
咱可是
I'm the
行家
best
中的
of the
行家。
best.